Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary Series, and it looks like we've got a mirror match. This is either double Simic Emerge or double, well, actually it could be Teamer Emerge or Sultai Emerge, or it might not be a mirror match at all. So, let's see, Rith versus Jace. For now. So Rith is playing Sultai Emerge. So we've got Sultai Emerge versus Jace, who definitely looks like he's playing Simic Emerge, because I would have expected to see some other color by now with all the cards that he's dumped into his graveyard so far. Now, the good news about that is that he's already got 5 types in his graveyard. So he's got Delirium. Emrakul only costs 8. Kiora. That pretty much seals it that he's playing Simic. Because, I mean, she's a great card, but you just don't see her outside of, full-on Simic decks. Forest, Primal Druid, Grapple with the Past, and... Forest, Grapple with the Past, Woodland Stream, and Primal Druid. Okay, discarding cards to the Noose Constrictor. To get Delirium so that he can throw out To the Slaughter and force him to sacrifice his Tireless Tracker and Kiora. I have to say, I'm surprised that we don't see To the Slaughter very much in Standard. I mean, if you're playing Black, I mean, this is a pretty good card. The fact that, it can force him to sacrifice a creature or a Planeswalker. There aren't a whole lot of spells that allow you to target a Planeswalker. I mean, this one doesn't target a Planeswalker, but it could kill one. About the only other one that I can think of right offhand is Ruinous Path. And, they effectively have the same mana cost. It's just Ruinous Path lets you target, what you want dead, whether it be a creature or a Planeswalker. And this one is letting them pick. But this one also has that added caveat of if you have Delirium, you make them sacrifice one of each. Okay, Noose Constrictor gets in for another 2. So Simic is down to 16. Ishkana from Sultai. So he's got a pretty full board now. Noose Constrictor, Ishkana, the 3/1/2 Spider tokens, Ishkana from Simic. 2 can play at that game. Now he's got a pretty full board. And he's got 6 types in his graveyard. So Emrakul only costs 7. If he has them in his hand, all he needs is one more land to come into play untapped, and boom, we've got big bad Eldrazi problems. But, that's a pretty big if. Okay, Traverse the Ulvenwald. Sultai does have Delirium, so he goes and gets himself a Prized Amalgam. Well, that is a very easy discard for, to Noose Constrictor, because then he can just bring back Stitchwing Scob. There's a lot of... Oh, he had 2 Prized Amalgams in his hand, and he just brought back the Stitchwing Scob. So, for the price of 1 blue and 1 colorless, basically, he gets a 3/1 flyer and 2 3/3s. And he sacrifices Ishkana to play Elderdeep Fiend. Ishkana is a 5 converted mana cost, so the emerge cost for it goes down to 2 blue. So basically he paid 4 mana this turn and got 1 really big creature that tapped down a whole bunch of stuff, and a creature that came into play tapped, and then at the end of turn he'll get a couple of 3/3s for his trouble. Primal Druid. I really don't like that card in Emerge. I mean, I get the point. You know, it's a creature that you can just straight up sacrifice to it because it's garbage otherwise, and it has an effect when it dies, but it's really garbage. I mean, it is not a good card. I mean, I don't know that there's anything better to play. I mean, at 2 mana, I mean, honestly, I would just play with Pilgrim's Eye, but then again, if you need more than just the Pilgrim's Eye, what do? All out attack from Sultai. So Wretched Griff from Simic blocks the Stitchwing Scob, throws a spider in front of the octopus, and he is down to 5. And last card in hand throws out a Haunted Dead. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that Simic is done here. About his only chance that I can think of right offhand is if he can throw down Emrakul here. And that would mean he'd have to have it in his hand. Now, he has gone through half of his deck already, and we haven't seen one, so it's theoretically possible, but he doesn't. If he did, he would have played it. Instead, he throws down a Pilgrim's Eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Primal Druid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attackers. Ooh! During its upkeep, Elder Deep spawned from Simic. Okay, so this might not be a complete blowout here. Elder Deep Fiend can very well turn this turn into kind of a wash. Give himself, basically buy himself an extra turn, because tapping down 4 of these big creatures and then gaining yourself a big blocker most likely is going to stump the Sultai side unless he top decks something really good. Okay, he only goes for 2 creatures. Taps down 2 islands in addition. Vessel of Nascency from Sultai. And he passes the turn. And it makes sense. He might have been able to get through for a few damage, but ultimately he would have lost more than he would have gotten through, and it just wouldn't have been worth it. So basically, Simic bought himself another turn with the Elder Deep Fiend. And now, we're basically in the same situation. 4 cards in hand. He's got 9 mana. And it looks like he's going to attack in with the Elder Deep Fiend. And Sultai takes it. He was at 20. 5 damage is not a big deal. Kiora, Master of the Depths. Ah, okay. So that was his plan. That way he gets to untap his Elder Deep Fiend to keep it up for defense. Untaps another land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. And that's the thing with the emerge creatures. He could very well have 2 big, scary creatures in his hand. Another Wretched Griff, another Elder Deep Fiend. Popping the Vessel at the end of turn. Drops a Swamp, Lumbering Falls, Llanowar Waste, Vessel of an Island. 4 land off the top. Wow. That was actually really good for him because he did not need to have to sit through drawing 4 land. In fact, if he did, then he probably would lose this game. Alright, Simic throws out another Elderdeep Fiend. And goes after the opposing Elderdeep Fiend and taps down 3 mana. Things are really looking bad for Sultai here. He needs to hit something pretty substantial in the next draw. Otherwise, Simic is just going to walk away with this game. Something as... Oh, crap. There's Emrakul, and that might be the game right then and there. Thanks to... I was going to say, thanks to Kiora being perfectly defended, he has a Planeswalker all to himself so that he can just use her abilities and basically, having a Planeswalker that you can use for whatever they can do whenever you want because your opponent can't do anything about it is a very powerful card to have on the board. But an even more powerful card is being able to throw down Emrakul for 7 mana when your opponent can't do anything about it. So, chooses to pass the turn. And Sultai, at the end of turn, brings back the Stitchwing Scab because, why not? He had land in his hand. Draws 1 card. Doesn't look like Simic wants to play that card. But I imagine he's going to attack in here since his defensive force is so much better than the offensive force of Sultai at the moment. It'll basically wreck his board and let Simic waltz in and most likely just kill him in one shot. I mean, really all he has to do is attack in with... Well, no, because I forgot. Sultai will get a turn after this, so it's highly unlikely that he'll be able to do anything in that turn, but there's always a chance. I mean, no, let's see, he's only got 5 mana, he's got 5 types, because I was thinking maybe he could get his own Emrakul, but he'd never be able to play him. He might be able to get another Elderdeep Fiend, but most likely all that would do is buy him another turn and, lengthen out this game. But that might be about the only thing that can save him here. But he chooses to concede instead. It was a very grim prospect. I mean, just with that board, Emrakul is almost always a guaranteed win. And he concedes the match. Well, that saves me the trouble. This video is already 14 minutes long, so I'm going to end it here. That was Simic Emerge versus Sultai Emerge. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you in the next video.